We have a lot of people who are awakening to their true identities, who, they're being reminded, and they see the light, and they are gravitating to that. But we got to hasten the pace on that. We we are behind. It's a lot that's going on right now in this dynamic, and we need to get on, like what James Brown used to say, on the good foot. We got to get going.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And we definitely should have been represent. We didn't need, nobody knew about this. And what I find, I can't even say odd, because it's going as planned. It wasn't even publicized or anything. Okay, my sister happened upon it, and she shared it with me, and I was just blown away.
Y- You know what? I have to be honest. I saw it mentioned in a YouTube post from Phoenix, and she was thanking people for submitting testimony to the 1866 treaty discussions. Now, I just wish that I'd known ahead of time, because I think that was brilliant to submit information during that time for our people, because our people, how these other folks see us, they see us as not saying anything, and that whatever they done said describing us and who we are and where we came from, that is we have accepted it to be true. So
Mhm.
they are going on as usual, and I feel like that, if more of us had known about it, and we could have put up a bigger front, because some of our people would have been able to go up there physically, and I do believe that she did say some folks that she was aware of had went up there physically to Washington D.C., but more people could have went. Our people have got to be a face and be a voice, because right now all we are is an internet thing. I hate
Mhm.
saying it, but it's an internet thing, or a private conversation thing that people are having. And I'm saying that we have to do more than just be an internet presence, because if we're not going to say anything when these issues come out with this treaty. Did you see who was sitting at that table?
Mhm.
That wasn't us.
Nope, it wasn't. I'm
And,
gonna I'm gonna share the video, and I hope people, even if you have to spout a little over an hour and a half long, the testimony and the hearing, just watch it in parts until you watch it in its entirety, please. I just can't implore,
Mhm.
um, I can't implore enough on you to do that. You need to listen to all of it, because this is what continues to happen to us. And I don't know who we are waiting for. We have no time to wait on anybody. We know that there should not be, the word leader shouldn't even be used in our vocabulary when
I'm
it comes
telling
to
you.
us trying to make headway and progress in movements. That doesn't even need to be a term that we use. Leader. Okay, our whole history shows how that pans out, and we know that. Even if you don't agree with what has happened, we see that that term, and the other part that we discuss, Sister Shirey and myself, these egos. We do not have time for anybody with a fat head, a balloon head. It is not about not a single solitary individual person. Nobody, not nay one, is more important than the collective group itself. And I said what I said, and I meant what I said.
Yes, because listen, listen, what we don't have to like each other personally. See, people getting it confused. We don't have to like each other personally. We don't have to agree with each other 100%. But at least we agree on, oh, our people, this is our land, and we have got to make a presence. But we can agree on that.
Hmm.
And we don't have any more time to get messed up like in the 70s, where egos and everything got out of whack and people was easy to take out. When you have a group of people that are without, they leading themselves, then you have a force to be reckoned with. But when you have one person thinking, or two people, or three different groups, and let's just agree on we're focused on our people. What the hell with what we feel about what each other's opinions are on things that really just don't matter when you look at the bigger scheme of things.
Mhm.
Because everybody, I'm telling you, I believe the ancestors have been calling a great many people, and the people that we're talking about with egos and what have you. I believe they're doing ancestral work. So,
Mhm.
on that note, let let do what the ancestors are leading you to do. I don't want to distract anybody from that.
Mhm.
But when there's room for us to work together, even when it seems like it's a small job to do, then let's do that. I was just kind of, I was taken back because I wanted to be a part of that. I wanted to say something about that, what was going on that treaty, because I knew it was gonna be some messed up stuff. And as soon as I looked at that, the speakers, I just thought, oh Lord, and they kept calling the freedmen pretty much ex-slaves.
That is right.
I'm like, what the?
And I was like, who are these people? Who are they talking about? You know, and one other thing I just wanted to make a point about is when we are at the table. I mean, this is my thoughts on it. The more the more thoughts and critical thinking we have to lay points and identify, and then come up with additional thoughts and just lay everything out, the better. So there is no wrong answers to this. We just need to be in agreement of what's going to be the best ways to go full speed ahead, because we are out of time almost. Okay, the clock is ticking, and there's no better time to pursue what is our rightful heritage, our rightful identity, and stand up for ourselves than now. There's no better time than now, right now.
Yes, yes, is exactly. So we just wanted to come on here and let brothers and sisters know that it didn't go over our heads, that we missed out on the opportunity to address the issue head on. But what we want to do is bring on more people so we can have, I don't want to say a round table, but I guess you could say round table of siblings who are out there doing the work, and see how we can address this again, because I don't think it's dead. I don't think it's dead.
Hmm.
We just, as a people, I think that a lot of this stuff will be shut down immediately if we just had a presence, a physical presence, where what we was putting out some numbers. Now I've said this before. I heard Dane said, and Gabe said, where all we really need is not the whole collective. We need at least 13%.
Hmm.
Okay,
Hmm.
13% to get some attention, and to stand on our square, as they say, because this is our land. And if we, I don't care if Tyrone know that he's an American Indian. It don't matter if we're not saying anything as a people. We just stand back here, and we're being quiet when all these things are popping up, things that we need to just knock upside the head every time they bring out some nonsense. Because
Oh, that look, as soon as I said, "What the hell is a foundational Black American? What is that?" I said, "What is that?" And so I said, "No, no, no. What is a foundational? What the hell is that? What is that?" And people were like, "Oh, him and the huh." I would say, "Okay, see, you're using stuff that makes no damn sense, and you can't even articulate it because it doesn't make sense. A
right,
foundational Black America.
it don't. But you know what? The person who coined that, uh, they have another agenda. It don't have
Yes, they
nothing
do.
to do. with our people being in their truth. It have nothing to do with our people regaining what is rightfully theirs.
Mhm.
They have an agenda. Now, look, I try not to bash people. I do. I try not to bash people
I
because
know.
you know what, some good can come out of that nonsense too.
Mhm.
Because siblings are discovering that, oh, they can't go anywhere and say they foundational Black American. They got to know for a fact that, because remember that was they talking about reparations.
Mhm.
They got to know for a fact that they people were slaves. And what they doing? They're doing their family trees, and they discovering that, oh, they can't find no ships that brought their people here.
Nope.
They can't find any slaves.
Nope.
Now, I'm not saying that some people can't find a slave. I'm saying that for the vast majority of our people, they don't have no slaves.
No.
They don't.
No.
And even slavery don't have the same meaning that we have been taught that it had. So I'm just saying, so some good can come out of that foundational Black American stuff. But
Mhm.
you know what? But people really do need to think about what they're saying because it sounds good. See, our people like catchy things. They like to sound catchy. They like to sound risky. And I remember when looking at some of the stuff that went on in the 70s, and I'm Black and I'm proud. That sounded militant. That sounded powerful. But
Mhm.
we have since discovered that it's neither of those things.
No, it's not. And we know because we've been teaching for a while, Sister Shire, myself and others, and we have to unlearn things that was poured into us, like like you pull a top off of a cup and pour water in it. Okay, then you find out, okay, no, I don't need to drink this. This is this, no, this, empty it out. That's what you got to do. And
Hmm.
you are going to have to do your due diligence of research. You need to listen to people who some of whom know more than you do. And there's nothing wrong with saying that I don't know, because that's your first big step in going forward and learning, is understanding that you don't know.
Hmm.
But we have got to get a move on. And looking at all of these names, Sister Shire, and I'm gonna post it again because we've shared it. I didn't even know she did it. This is such a modest sister that is on this. I'm sharing this medium with right now. She just blows me away. I didn't even know she was the one responsible for this meme. I didn't know, and it's been shared thousands upon thousands of times, and it's perfect. I'm going to share it again with all these different names that we've been called. That alone should let you know that they are trying to keep you in a state of confusion and bewilderment about who you are. But here's the thing: your grandma and them and auntie them and them and all of them, they know. They have told you. Why you want to dismiss and discount what they say and then listen to people who mean you no good, and they want to keep you in a state of brain fog and mental constipation? I don't know, because the people who are your elders within your family, they know what they're talking about. They lived it, and they were closer to the reality of it than you. And so when they share it with you, then you need to embrace it and get on your journey of research, because they're telling you. Stop discounting and shutting them down, because these people are not crazy. Of course they're not crazy. Okay, here's the other thing. Going looking at Africa, I give the people, the other melanated people, and these other on that John landmass, I give them their props. They have always had a long tradition of oral history. We have it too, but at least they embrace it and they respect it. So why the hell shouldn't you? You know, why shouldn't you embrace what's told to you about your culture, your heritage, your lineage?
Our people have gotten in the habit of listening to strangers and and trusting what strangers have to say about them. Now, I've heard Africans disrespect our people by saying your grandmother didn't know what she's talking about. Your elders didn't know what they're talking about. You know, nobody respects us.
Mhm.
And there's a reason for that. I'm not justifying it. I'm just saying there's a reason. When you don't listen to your elders, when you don't look, excuse me, at the writing on the wall, nobody respects you. They think you're dumb.
They
They
do.
think you're dumb. So your elders told you who you are. Everybody else gonna come here and they're gonna tell you otherwise. Why? Because they benefiting at your expense. Now, mind you, they ran from their homelands and they came to yours to live at your expense.
Mhm.
So I'm just saying, our people have got to, they got to listen to their elders. They really do. I don't care if you feel like your elders abandoned you, because I've heard that before.
Mhm.
At least they told you who you were. If you disregarded it, that's on you, isn't it?
I'm gonna say something to that point because I get sick of hearing it. I get sick of hearing, and I was like that until I stepped back because I believe, and I did a little meme on this. Give your damn self a goddamn timeout. Go sit in a corner and do some thinking. Open your mind. So to give yourself a thinking timeout, that's what people need. Put yourself in timeout and start thinking. First of all, I'm just going to start with the civil rights movement because I'm a child of that small child. So I wasn't out there doing none of it. My mama and them, grandmama and them, and them folks. And so I'm going to say this on their behalf. They did what they thought they needed to do, and a lot of folks couldn't even walk 2 damn steps in these people's shoes because these people was literally getting shot down like dogs and killed, and when nothing gonna be done about, when shit gonna be shared on the internet about, oh, they done look at he laying in the street, and then it become a hashtag that didn't even exist, and it was happening every day. Most people, these people were brave enough. They stood up for what they thought, and they weren't afraid to die. But then when it came to some other stuff, they were threatened so vehemently that they had to, at some points in history, suppress their rightful identities because they were being killed about that, and nothing was being done about it. So all you people who sit up here and talk about these folks, this was a different time. Most of y'all folks, you couldn't even damn, carry these damn folks' shoes down 2 steps, let alone anything else. You couldn't do any of it. So I don't
Exactly.
believe in just sitting up there bashing people because time is a continuum, okay?
Hmm.
And you live and learn and you go forward. Okay, we don't sit around driving backwards in the goddamn rear view mirror. You do have to look backwards, so you can not run into something or back into something or whatever, but you got to go forward. And you take the good with the bad, and you can't just toss the damn baby out the toss the bath water out and the baby too.
Yeah. See, it goes back to that point that we're all learning. Trust me when I say this. Even the most learned of us are in the process of learning, because there's so much stuff that was kept from us, and at the same time there was so much stuff presented to us that we didn't know that was quality information.
Hmm.
Now we know. So now we learning. And I'm just saying, let's learn together. Let's
Please.
learn together. And whatever differences we may have on the personal level, let's keep it like this. If I don't agree with you on some things, okay, I don't agree with you. But as long as we agree on the main thing, and that's helping our people get out of this mess, helping them reclaim this land, stop the lying on us,
Hmm.
calling our ancestors slaves when they weren't slaves. Did you see the sister that they brought out saying that she was African?
And see, that's the thing. This is what I want to do when we do our when we come back, and then we do a more fuller discussion, with other points and content, and have hopefully invite people and everything,
Yeah.
because this is just a preview. We have got to agree on what we do agree on. We know this is our land. We know, as in those people who are awake and who embrace their true identity, we know we're not no goddamn Africans. We know that. If you have those people in your family, okay, fine. Nobody's talking about you. So we don't want people, and it's so apt, it's like a mental thing to get sidetracked. Well, I got African. Well, okay, we're not talking about you. You're not the majority of people. And most folks can go many generations into their family tree and find not a person like that. So we ain't talking about you.
Mhm.
Okay?
Mhm.
We're not talking about you. And we're not disrespecting you either. And folks ain't gonna get to hijack conversations because they talking about their singular selves. We ain't talking about you. And we're gonna lay out what we know are facts. We know, we know, and I'm just gonna say this, Shy, because we're close, but I'm a little older than you, but we right there in terms of our generational growing up. If you call somebody African, they be who you calling African? What the hell are you talking about? That's what they say. If you call somebody black, that was like talking about somebody, mom, they beat your ass. Who you calling black? I saw it. I'm not black, you such and such. They didn't, and these people know. And it's a reason that they embraced Negro and didn't embrace none of this shit. But then it came a whole paradigm shifting of getting these folks to get on this Pan Africanism. And all of this was a paid ploy to confuse you and continue just perpetually stealing from you, robbing you blind. How about that?
Mhm. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. You know, we sometimes this topic it just leaves you speechless. You lack for words because we have been through so much, whether we acknowledge that or not. And because in the beginning, I'm just saying, we had to deal with a lot of foolishness from people when we was claiming who we were. You remember?
I do.
Now, so we have so much more because people were each one teach many, and it's just the numbers are growing every day.
And you know what, sis? You don't nearly, and I feel so good and hopeful about this because it is hoping. You are more positive, optimist than me. I just call look. I'm a realist. Here's what I say. Hey, I ain't knocking the optimist. I'm not completely knocking the pessimist. I say whatever amount of liquid, half full, half empty in the glass, just drink it if your ass is thirsty.
Yeah.
That's the realist in me. But I'm always going to be weighing it. And yes, you want to be hopeful, but you got so many people. We don't get the pushback that we used to get, do we? Do we, sis? We don't.
Mm-mm. No. Oh no. Oh, Sister Charlene could tell you about all of that.
And this has been
No.
inside of 10 years. So we've seen it. This is in just from the little bit that we are monitoring and we see and what we've been doing in our work. This is
Mhm.
in about 10 years. There has been a seismic shift. And I'm very, very, very happy and hopeful about that.
Which is the very reason. Excuse me. All of a sudden, I just started coughing. This is the very reason that we're talking today about the 1866 treaty. Our people, it's enough of us to have made a difference right there. It is. I'm just saying. I've talked to people on the street for years, and I talked to people on the web. I talked to people anywhere that I could talk to them about who they are in this land, and there's a lot of people wide awake on that.
Hmm.
But our people are many of our people are assuming the fear of the elders before them, and that's just it's just not founded because we didn't have to go through what they had to go through. We did not. And
Right.
you already know that we are not the same caliber of them.
Oh, absolutely not. And that's why I don't like for people to browbeat these people as they are our ancestors or demean them in any way because I put it like this, each generation fails in what they need to do because they're not perfect.
Right.
But in that failure, we learn and we make adjustments. And we get back up there and we know, okay, this doesn't work. We want to do this. And that's what it is about because, again, we are at the point of pushing forward. We have to continue to progress and we have to get our true identity back. We have to be recognized as a collective. And I feel that we need a name. We can say that we are American Indians. That is our real true name. We can say that. I like Amerindian because I like it being combined in one term. And so
Mhm.
I do use that. So I'm not saying anything that I don't do. I use it, I say it, I write it.
Mhm. You know, I heard a person say, "I don't care if our people call themselves a blue book.
Mm,
We have to be focused on what is ours."
mm-hmm,
And I think at this point, I agree. When I
mm-hmm,
first heard it, I didn't, but I agree at this point because listen, it is what it is. If this is our land, I'm just saying we have not, as a people, challenged any of this. We
mm-hmm,
stayed quiet, and I'm gonna tell you something. Just by how these people act, they thrive when we're quiet.
mm-hmm.
There's nobody finna challenge us. I'm telling you, the only people who will challenge you are niggas.
That is it. I've seen it time and time again because you know what? Some of the and I give them some of the decent pale people. You got some.
Yeah.
They let me tell you what I've seen physically. They beam when you say who you are. Like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, thank God. This is how they look. Oh, somebody who really know who. Oh, yes,
Mm-hmm.
that's true. You're right. That's what they say.
They
Do they not?
do. Yeah. I'm. Listen.
Mm,
They treat you different than African American.
sure do.
Okay.
Hmm.
When they know you walking in
Black
your
too. You
yeah.
let them tell it. They scared of black folks. They said they did a poll with and I saw this a few years ago with the pale people. They said which term is more positive. They said African American. They
Uh-huh.
said black scares them. The reason black scares them goes back to what we said that it was supposedly a militant term. That's why. So they kept that shit in their heads. You see,
Uh-huh.
but it's
I'm
still
just
mess. It's still mess.
yeah, of course it is. But the thing is, I tell siblings all the time. Listen, hold on one second here.
Mhm,
These people, these people, when you're walking in your truth, I kid you not, those people see it. Your vibe is different. They pick up on that. I've had people. You had this happen to you recently, when somebody just walk up to you and just confide in you.
mhm.
This is what people do to you because I know that we have some folks that may be a certain religion or what have you that don't believe in this, but that's the God complex.
It is.
They see that in you.
Mhm.
They see the God in you. But they sometimes have the God complex because they imitating and that's what they want. But I'm saying, and I'm not saying this as being no creator, nothing like that. I'm talking about the original people.
Yes.
They
Yes.
they look at us all the time, watch us all the time.
All the time. I told you real quick about the time my son was on this little part-time job, and then these were some customer regulars, and they were talking to him because he's very friendly and he got regulars. And I mean, most of them, I'm gonna be honest, the majority of these are pale people, but the store is just everybody. But
Hmm.
these are the folks. Believe it or not, they gravitate to my son and they be crazy about my son. It ain't enough for these folks to give him 20, $30 tips just to help him take a box out to the truck. That's how they roll. But that's something else. But he had on some jewelry that a sister had made for me, okay, for him, and I gifted it to him. So he had it on. It had, it was Indian jewelry, turquoise and stuff, and he was very proud of it. He was talking about it, and so the wife asked him. She said, "Well, what are you?" He proudly said he was in now. Because he came back and he told me that same day, and now tears was in my eyes. I promise. He said, "Ma, I told the lady because he called her name. He said, I am Choctaw and Blackfoot."
Hmm.
And her husband was on the other aisle, and she called, come here, David. He looks like it, doesn't he? Look at those cheekbones. That's what she said.
Hmm.
This is a pale person talking
They
to my
know.
son.
They be
Okay.
knowing. Girl, they be knowing. They
And she
educate.
said that. She said, you have that structure, and she said, it's good that you know. That's what she told my child. You hear me?
Hmm.
Now they were like I asked him how old were they. He said, I don't know, mom, 50ish, early 60s, 50s, something like that. That's what he said. So they know.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay.
See, uh, this this is what I say to siblings. The idea for you to be in your truth is not necessarily time to hit somebody over the head with, beat people down with who I
Right.
am and who you not.
Hmm.
But these people, they are constantly reminding us who we are because they stay focused on you. And when you in your truth, when you're in their truth, they can't do enough for you. They can't.
Exactly. I'm gonna tell you something else, sis. Real quick before we get ready to wrap up. The clock is counting down on them too. And they have a lot of things that they have got to do, and they know that. So you ain't gonna get the pushback from them nearly like you once did because the clock is ticking for them. Okay?
Hmm.
It
Hmm.
is. And
See
just
that
remember that.
our people saved them
Hmm.
before. As the Amish used to tell you, but our people saved them once before, and they gonna be looking to be saved again. I'm just saying. I'm not saying that that's how we gonna play this out because hey, they dug a ditch.
That's right.
But the bottom line is for us being afraid. I don't understand the logic because our elders they had reason. We don't have that reason. The
No, we don't.
time is perfect for us right now because it's so much monkey shine going on. And no, they got their hands full. All we have
Oh
to
yeah.
do is speak up. But see, I'm thinking that some of our people really don't want to break this curse, if you will.
But
They don't want to stop the madness.
that's gonna be part for content in our next full feature because we really got to delve into that, sis. You know,
Oh.
so um, we really want people to know just by, and we're going to be sharing this congressional video. This was not a while back. This was like last week. Wasn't it
Oh,
last week, sis?
yeah, Wednesday, Thursday, but something
Yeah.
like.
So this was, and we're talking about July 9th, 2022. I think it was the 27th or something like that.
Hmm.
Okay. This is what's going on, and we're being absent from the discussions about us. How do you be absent from discussions about you other than people are still trying to uh keep you blinded? They're trying to still, keep you out of walking in your truth, but they're not going to be able to do that just by virtue of them even having it as a congressional discussion, and looking at what they so supposedly want to do about it, but still having the discussion broached from inaccurate frame points of frames. See, and that's where we come in. We have got to make those corrections, and we got to do it now.
Yep, we do. We just need to get it out of our heads that we don't have no power. And I think a lot of people operating from the perspective we don't have any power. And I'm telling you that our voice is our power. I'm telling you that
Right.
because these people, we're silent. We're silent. I mean, literally, we're silent. Even if
Hmm.
we send letters to them, if we're not showing up physically, they just still writing us off.
That's right.
So
But
yeah.
we can make a difference, and we have to, because this is for our future generations, and we've got to, we got to come out of this darkness, this veil that was put on us for any myriad of reasons, mostly for control, all mostly to steal, okay, and to keep you just subjugated in your mind about that which is yours.
Yep. Yep. So we will be putting together a more in-depth uh, podcast, if you will, on this subject, because we have to make some changes for real, for real. Okay, we cannot stay silent. It's great that you're proud that you're Apache. That's beautiful. That's what we want you to be. It's proud of that. But being proud in silence, let me tell you before we go. Someone had told me, they said, "Yeah, I'm proud. I don't forget if they were Cherokee or Chickasaw, whatever it was." They said, "Yeah, that's my grandmother told me that." All right. She said,
Mhm.
"But when it's business, I just say African American or black.
Oh,
Hello,
mm-mm.
African American or black." I said, "Why would you do that? Be in your truth." She said, that's not going to be accepted." I said, "You know what? That's not true. That's not true. I have yet to have somebody challenge me on who I am, and I claim myself. I claim my ancestors. I
That's
don't
right.
label them like that. Don't you know you spitting in their face, your
You are.
ancestors' faces, when you calling them all this stuff that they weren't?
And things that they didn't accept. They didn't accept, being called that. The only thing that they were okay with was Negro. And then, like I said, I'm gonna share that meme, and it has its place, and people have to understand it. That term, more than any of the other fuckery misnomers, it connects you to some things.
Yep,
The others is nothing but fuckery,
yep.
plain and
Oh,
simple.
yes, yes. See, anytime you have something that give you a legal leg up. See, our people they have not took advantage of all the stuff that's set aside for Negroes.
Right.
So I'm just saying, we can hit them with from every which way.
Right.
We can hit them with Negroes, all kinds of stuff. We can hit them with American Indian. We can hit them with tribal names, all of that,
And
because that's
this your birthright. This is who
mhm,
this is our birthright as a people, and we know good and well that this is our home, this is our landmass, and it is worth fighting for. And the fact that we've had to fight for it so many centuries, we can't give up now.
that's right. So I want everybody to be looking for. We're gonna post a link when we have it all set up to where we have other people join us, and we talk about this treaty. We want to break it down, and so that people understand why it's important that we interact when stuff like this pop up. Don't keep it a secret. Don't keep it a
Please,
secret.
please.
Tell each other. Push aside egos and anything else that may be in the way, and put it out there, because you know what? Maybe you can't show up physically, but somebody else may be.
And I want to end on this note, sis, and then, before you go ahead and close. Knowledge and light is meant to be shared. The ancestors employ us to do so. It is critical, absolutely critical, that we be obedient to the task that we are assigned, and we know when they have given us a task to do.
Yes. Yes. So on that note, I just want you all to just think on that, and we will post the link when we ready with other people, so that we can talk about this treaty, because this is just the beginning. There are hundreds of treaties. There are
Mhm.
hundreds of things that we can go at after. So that's what we're gonna do. So keep looking for the link. We're gonna post it in uh, all the different everywhere we can. We're posting African Americans Ain't African and Meridian Heritage. We post it on our own pages, but we'll post the link as soon as we're ready. So on that note, sis, I'm glad you joined me, and we just got this out there because, like I said, this was a shocker for you and me.
That's right. It was.
So see you then. And we'll be in contact.
All right. Take care and peace out.
Peace out.